Welcome to 4-H Shooting Sports Coordinators Coffee for state, local, and club coordinators and leaders to shoot better scientifically. And today we are focusing on coordinating 4-H shooting sports, learning virtually with your club members. Grab your mug and let's talk about what this virtual learning environment looks like. Well, learning virtually, the same as learning in person. When you gather your young people together or your leaders together, it is about, in the end, we want young people who belong, who have a sense of independence on their 4-H project, who are mastering skills along with not only project skills, but life skills, and then are generous because we know that 8 essential elements matter. So no matter where we're connecting with young people, the 8 essential elements is what drives our programming. Hi, I'm Tammy Stuhr, Extension Educator for Nebraska Extension. My background is a volunteer in archery, and we're recently certified a muzzleloader, and then also a trainer for coordinator. The majority of my time, though, within my extension career and volunteer moments are spent in my certification of hunting and outdoor skills. And this leads my passion to help you teach virtually with your 4-H club members and help them connect. So the first thing we want to remember is that all learning has to do with a lesson plan. In a lesson plan, it's about gaining the young person's attention, letting them know what they're going to do so they know what their body needs to tune into, what they're going to learn so their brain knows what to tune into, establishing your credibility as an instructor, and then you actually teach the lesson or the content, and then a wrap up or debrief. So the mind wraps itself around the content or the skills that have been learned and really cements it in the young person's mind. And all of this is always about an outcome. So if your outcome is the parts of a rifle, then you need to know that that's what you're going to do so you can let your young people know what to tune into. Or if it is about becoming a better leader, let them know what the outcome will be. Whenever we do anything in 4-H shooting sports, we always have to remember risk management, even in the virtual setting. We've seen a lot of different items come up around using Zoom as a tool to teach young people and connect with them. Even there's some risk of people getting on that don't belong. Or do we share pictures of the youth, or do we only get to see the instructor's picture? Because in risk management, you need to remember you're always asking, am I going to take on the risk? Am I going to transfer it like a parent or somebody like that? Am I going to reduce it by putting in different ground rules and safety procedures, or am I going to avoid it and just not even offer a program? Or am I going to partner with somebody and maybe transfer it to my Fish and Wildlife Agency? Usually there's going to be a combination, but keep in mind, no matter how you go about offering a program, risk management needs to be at the forefront, and make sure that your young people know how you are managing that risk and their families so they feel safe as a part of your 4-H shooting sports program. So some fun things that you can do. Number 1, play games with the kids. There is a program called Kahoot. It is free online. You need to be prepared though, because we're going to try to sell you an upgraded version. I haven't bought it yet. I just use a simple Kahoot game. What happens, as you see here, there's blue, red, green, and yellow answers. You can set your answers as true, false. You can do multiple choice. But what a young person needs is some device to get onto. And as soon as you pop up that question, like how many 4-H shooting sports leaders are there? And the questions might be 40, 400, 4,000, 40,000. They click on that green, blue, red, or yellow. And then it's also about the fastest time. So check out Kahoot for playing games with your 4-H club members online. Jeopardy. Jeopardy, we will put this online for you. It'll be on the National 4-H Shooting Sports webpage, and you can go on and download the Jeopardy game. Now consider when you're doing Jeopardy, There's lessons I often don't get to. The history of archery, I'm not always good about getting that in my book, in my instructor manual. So this would be a good place to be able to put things that are knowledge-based that you don't get to during your practices. And then, of course, why not do some 4-H state questions about your state program? So when you look at archery, when you look at the Jeopardy game, this is a little bit about what that looks like. So you can see that there's these different areas here, each one with a point value. And then the first question is like the largest youth organization, and then the answer follows directly. So what you would need to do is just go ahead and go in and edit whatever you want this question to be, and then what the answer would be to it. And then when you come back up here, and we start our slideshow, this is one that we use at the beginning of our 4-H shooting sports leader training as people are arriving. And so if we click on Green for 100, the largest youth organization, somebody says 4-H, and then it's there. Now here's the trick. So how do you get that to change colors? This little icon down in the corner, you click on that, and you will notice that this has gone to a dark gray and all the others are lighter gray. So disciplines for 200, 22, BB gun, air, somebody guess? Yes, it's rifle. And then you go back down here and click on that shooting sports logo, and you can see that it's turned a darker gray. And yes, there's even music that comes with it. So feel free to make your own Jeopardy game, but please know that we'll have this template up that you'll be able to go and change these questions so it'll be ready for you. So what besides games can we do with our young people virtually online to keep them learning? What about bingo? What about having the different things that you're thinking, what do I want to teach my club members when we can get together? What about putting a bingo game together? And then you can find out about what they don't mark on bingo, so that way you know what to cover when you actually meet with them again. You can always have the young people make their own card too, and then you call off things to see what they've done, to see who can get a bingo. So this helps them get to know their fellow 4-H members and creates that sense of belonging too. Model building. You see these pictures of these 4-H shooting sports coordinators at our last training. And in this one, we were actually using Twizzlers, and they had to build a person out of Twizzler licorice that would be able to hold up one of those markers or a pen or a pencil that would represent like a shotgun or a rifle, a black powder gun, something like that. And then, of course, as they found out that the muscles of the Twizzlers weren't enough, we gave them toothpicks to eventually add to that to represent the bones and bring together that lesson about how important stance is and using triangles so your muscles and your bones can work together for stance. So that's one idea for model building that you can find in the shooting sports STEM activities. What about range setup? So if you look here, there's two different pictures. On the bottom left corner is my home. And if I was able to shoot archery, which I can in my backyard, but I can't do BB gun or any other types of disciplines, then I could actually take and start marking off here where I could safely set up a range in my backyard if that was allowed. Or in this case, this is our fairgrounds, also where the Merritt County Extension office is located, and we could give them a map and have them start putting different places of where you could set up a range, where your entry point would be, where your warnings would be for people not to drive, to walk, things like that. So that would be another example of model building. Field trips. When it comes to field trip, you can do your own. You can just simply take your cell phone, head out to the local wetland, and start talking about what frogs do you hear as I'm sitting here. Or have the young person take their phone out and go live and do a field trip around maybe their range or where they shoot and things like that. And then the other people on the other side can ask them questions. So you can do that in Google Hangouts, Google Classroom, Zoom, different things like that. You could also do something like Facebook Live, which is going to be one-way interaction, but maybe another person is reading the comments off, so the person sponsoring or hosting the field trip could answer them. You could go live with a local place, like I mentioned, the wetlands with the frogs, and you can have each of those club members just take some time and show them where to go. And maybe they put it in a video, or maybe you go live, depending on what the comfort level and the technology level of your young people are. Imagery. What you can do is, if you have a young person who has parents or has a certified leader with them, like my daughter would have me as a certified leader, you can watch a shot and then give coaching tips. And if you don't want to do a young person, what about just taking a professional photo of like the Olympics? I love when they ski and then they stop and they have to shoot. And you could have your young people watch a clip of like an Olympian and then talk about what is a coaching tip that you would give this person to actually keep up their stamina or for their shot, and have your young people discuss what it would be like to be a coach of an Olympian. Or have them watch their own shot and then give a tip. So in any of these examples, we always want to do that wrap up and debrief. So this is where journaling could come and be a part of it also. Journaling in pictures as well as words. It doesn't always have to be about writing when it's journaling. So if you look at this young person here, great shot, right? He did a promotion for 4-H. But again, do we have that perfect T and that standing up? See if your young people would notice and be able to correct this young person. And again, it doesn't have to be of your own club members. It could be of different pictures you have online or on your own computer if you take as many pictures as I do. Demonstrations. We'll have that pro lead a demo for you. There's plenty of them online. Watch them as a club, discuss them. You can, as an instructor, do demos from your manual. There are plenty in there that you can do. You can also have the youth break apart topics, like we talked about how there's always the history of the firearms and the shooting sports, and have them give a 2 to 3 minute demo of something like that, or maybe how to change your stance if you're in the wind versus if you're inside and have no resistance. And again, it doesn't always have to involve shooting, but it is something to think about. How can you do instructor, professional, or your clubs actually giving a demo? And remember, we always want to set youth up for success, and they might not have the communication, public speaking, presentation skill to give a demo. So make sure you actually do a lesson on how to give a demonstration before you assign that out. Simulation. One of my favorite simulations that is very professionally done is from the Hunter Education Tools. This is something you can download. So if you are a rifle instructor and you want to do the parts of the rifle, you can simply click on here and show all the different parts of the rifle. But what if you want to do the types of action? Well, if you do this one, you can actually have Hunter Education Tools actually do it for you. So that's one more way that you can use simulation and not have a lot of prep there, but have the youth ask questions as you watch that together, or pre-assign that and then have them journal about the different Hunter Education Tools that they have watched. Brainstorming. What a great time to involve the young people in thinking about generosity and what service projects could your club be doing while they're still in quarantine and not able to meet. such as making the masks, getting people out to a local blood drive, something like that. Or Olympians. Have them do a search and bring ideas back of different Olympians that you could actually bring in as guest speakers virtually, or once you're able to meet in person, how you would go about doing that. So do brainstorming with your young people. Guest speakers. When you bring in guest speakers virtually, or actually even in person, the same rules apply. Make sure the camera is close, that you can see their eyeballs, so you know that you're seeing expressions and engagement there. But 20 minutes max is plenty for any young person to watch a guest speaker talk about what it is they're an expert in. Make sure that the person that is talking to the young people is focusing on the different skills that they need for their job, their career, their competition, the recreation that they do, and not just the competition, about how many medals they won or trophies or how much money they get paid. By focusing on the skills, you're actually helping the young person be able to potentially set goals of what skills that they can start building if there's parts of that person that they met that they would like to emulate. So another part of belonging and bringing youth in on this is letting each of the young people ask a question. Now, if you're not going to have a great connection on your internet, you can actually have them submit ahead of time and then have like the president of the club read those questions to the guest speaker. Otherwise, have each person take turns asking a question. You might want to do that like in alphabetical order, or by oldest to youngest or youngest to oldest, to make sure that it is smooth and that you're muting and unmuting people at the right times to be able to ask their question. So challenges. I don't know how many of you have static exhibits for 4-H shooting sports, but we sure do in Nebraska, and I love this area. You can put different challenges out there, like make your own quiver, make a covering to carry your rifle or your shotgun or your muzzle loader or your pistol in. So if you look at this right here, this is from the Nebraska State Fair, and this young person, this is 2 different years, using the same log. First, they made a quiver, which you see on your left. You see the little red spots at the bottom? That's actually the part that goes into the ground, and they are covering the sharp points. And that is hollowed out in the middle, and that's where they put their arrows in. And then the next year, they made a bow rack to put the bows on when they're not shooting. And so thinking about different challenges for static exhibits that young people can use in practice, or maybe your club needs. Does your club need new target holders or target backs or something like that? And put that out as a challenge, so when you are able to get back together and shoot, you would have that. Another challenge that is kind of fun is the first time that we talked about this, it was around Easter time. So why not have each person make up an Easter egg that looks like some type of a target and have an Easter egg decorating contest? Now, it would be a lot of fun to shoot these, but hopefully you'll do that when you get back together as a club, because remember, the National Best Practice 11 is that any live fire that is happening would happen with a coach present in the name of 4-H. Of course, the young people could do what they want on their own, but in the name of 4-H, we definitely want to have a certified leader there to ensure the safety and the risk management plan is being followed. You can do online assignments. We have the Nebraska Game and Parks, that's our Fish and Wildlife Agency, and we have just opened up a curriculum that used to be password protected that you can go on and learn everything from frog calling to making your own fishing lures to setting up your own deer area and where you're going to hunt and where you're going to park, and just different things like that. So check out the Nebraska Game and Parks curriculum that we have partnered with 4-H on launching. You can use testing and use forms such as on Google Drive to create tests for the kids, and then of course the HE tools. And remember, you're going to want to email a direct link and not make them do a bunch of clicks. So if you can, like with the HE tools, get to that muzzleloader shot that you want them to watch, that would be great. And you can do that by hyperlinking too. Videos are a great another tool how to do online learning. You can, of course, produce your own, which is pretty awesome. Try to keep them to 3 minutes or less to maintain attention. And it's better if you have like a 9-minute type of segment that you need to cover, do it in increments. So like 3 minutes here, 2 minutes here, and 3 minutes here, to make sure that that young person will stay engaged and watch. They're more likely to click on the next video than to watch a full 9-minute video. So of course you can use another person's video, and you'll always want to still follow that lesson plan where you do that introduction and gain their attention, tell them what they're going to do and learn, have them watch the video, and then debrief that video. So remember, as you are going forward, that you want to break down learning. We don't want to give them everything at once. It can be very overwhelming, especially for these parents that have been homeschooling suddenly and a teacher sends out 20 links. It's too overwhelming. It's better to send out either a daily email or an email every couple days with the links, or if your club has a Facebook page or something like that. Have fun. If it's not fun, why do it? So have fun as you're teaching online, and have fun with the kids. This is what it's about. And then make sure we're playing and we're practicing with that technology, so that way we feel confident in what we're doing. Because if we're confident, we're more likely to have fun and be relaxed and be able to engage and interact with the kids and create that sense of a caring adult in their life. And then when you're online, have a moderator. Have somebody that's moderating the chat to ask questions out, to notice if people are raising their hand, to help them with technical issues, so that way you can really focus on the teaching and the content of where you're going. So keep in mind that the resources for today will be posted on 4-hshootingsports.org, which is the new shooting sports page. If you haven't checked that out yet, please do. It's pretty awesome. I'm really enjoying having it as an instructor to follow. And then videos like this are now posted on the YouTube channel. And so if you search National 4-H Shooting Sports on YouTube, then you're going to be able to access different items, and that will be updated as people turn in things that can be shared with other 4-H programs across state lines, as well as county lines, as well as club lines. So thank you for joining us today, and good luck taking your 4-H Shooting Sports program virtually. We know you can do it, and thank you for all you do for 4-H and for the Shooting Sports Project.